All right, guys, there she sits. It survived its first ride at Holopole, which was pretty intensive. It's amazing what a stock four-wheeler will go through with a decent rider on it. These tires Honda switched to seem to get pretty good traction. I couldn't get this thing stuck. I finally got it stuck on purpose, literally. But I was able to work it out of every other situation. Don's a professional. Feel the waves hit it? Cool. Nice! You're not gonna fit there. You can't fit there. Go right here. Go that way. You're not gonna fit. You're not gonna fit. This is fine. Right here. It's nice hard bottom. Are you in low range?
No, high range.
Put in low.
We're sinking, Christian.
I know. Yep, you're good. You're good. Now go. Now you'll be fine. Well done. But it did good. Very impressed with it. A few questions people had was, hey, how deep can I go when these are out of snorkel? Well, let me show you. So here is the air intake. It's actually right up in here. See the top of that hole? So air gets breathed in through here. So you can go this deep without a snorkel. If you go slow and water doesn't splash up in there, I say safe to go without a snorkel, you know, because the bike could roll side to side, water could splash up in there. It's probably about the exhaust. So if you're wondering what that looks like on the outside of the machine, you can look at this little guy right here, right about here, right about where this fender stops on both sides. That's about as deep as you should go stock. I went a lot deeper than that. And I went there for a couple seconds, which is why my airbox is open to dry out. You can see that some mud and water got in the bottom of my airbox, not a lot. The airbox is very deep, so some water gets in there. It doesn't get in the filter, it ends up in the bottom, it's fine. The vent lines of concern is the gas tank vent. So this guy, if you look at where it vents at, it's right here on the frame. See it right there? So that's where the gas tank vents. that's pretty low. And if you sit in water long enough, it'll eventually let the frame fill up with water and it'll get pulled into your gas tank. So if I were you and you didn't want to snorkel it, I would at least take this vent line and route it into the headlight pod. That way, if you splash some water in your airbox, no big deal. You don't have to worry about getting water in your gas. Obviously, I'm going to fully snorkel this thing. I'll do a really good video on that for you guys. But it was a lot of fun. Everything worked great on it. Four-wheel drive didn't act up or anything. Did some wheelies, got it on 2 wheels, etc. Another thing to always check is your crankcase breather line from here to here. If that's disconnected, you go in any water, you're going to ruin your engine. So that's all good. Need to work on the winch. The wiring's done really sloppy. Don't love any of this. Need to work on that. And I also want to work on the mount on it. I'm going to put some synthetic on it. I'm going to put these 28s on it once I get my 4x110 Honda lug pattern, 2 4x156 Polaris lug pattern adapters. Those will be in tomorrow on from Amazon. But yeah, it did really well. You're probably wondering why it looks like this right now. So every time I go deep, I make sure that I leave the airbox cover off and leave the relay cover off. That way it can dry. So Honda puts this relay cover on here, designed to keep these relays from getting wet. You can tell that because there's actually a gasket in here. The problem is it's not 100% waterproof because water can get in around the wires and stuff. These relays get wet, they start to corrode, that's really bad. So you'll see how I take care of that in my snorkeling video. I don't ever put this cover back on. I actually like to let them breathe. I don't want to trap moisture in there because steam is coming off the engine, so steam's getting everywhere all the time, so everything's gonna get wet. I don't care how you try to seal it, steam's gonna make its way up in between all these wires, and these things are gonna get wet. So the best thing you can do is just protect them from corrosion. The relays themselves are pretty watertight, so are the diodes. You just gotta keep the contacts from corrosion. So we'll get into all that later, but there's a little walk around for you after the post-hole pole abuse. Enjoy the video.